What's going on, guys? It's Paul here, and as you probably have seen, fanny packs have been getting really popular among backpackers. Honestly, I was hesitant for a while, but I finally got over my feelings of looking like I'm holding a garage sale or, you know, touring Disney World, and I finally decided to take the plunge and try out a fanny pack. Now, this is the Kammok Burro hip pack, so they call it a hip pack, and I have a feeling that's because the word fanny means other things in other parts of the world, but regardless, fanny pack, hip pack, waist pack, whatever you want to call it, this is what I'm reviewing today. So just to quickly go over some of the specs, the pack has a 2.1 liter capacity. The material that it's made out of is multiple layers of the Kammok hammock material, and they've laminated that together. It has a waterproof PU coating, which I'll talk a little bit more about the waterproofing later on in this video. As for weight, the pack with the removable hip belt weighs in at just under 4.5 ounces, and if you remove the hip belt, the pack itself weighs in at about 2.8 ounces. And as of the time of recording this video, you can find this pack on the Kammok website for $35. So now just going over some of the features. First of all, on the outside, there is this little loop, and there's one on both sides of the pack, so that's just an extra connection point. If you want a carabiner or something to the outside of the pack, you can do that there. The hip belt, as I mentioned, is removable, and it's pretty easy to remove as well. You just push the little metal piece down on the top, squeeze the clip, it will pop loose, and then you can slide the clip out of the slot. The zippers are YKK water resistant zippers, and I really like on the big main pouch, if you can see there, they have these nice large zipper pulls, so they're really easy to use. Opening up this main pouch, you can see it's just a deep main pouch. There are no dividers or anything, so it's just one large opening, and I really like that it's that orange, bright orange material on the inside, so it's really easy to see down inside the pack. And on the back, it has a separate little zippered pocket here. It's an entirely separate pocket from the main compartment. It is a very small pocket. This is my iPhone XR, and it just barely fits down inside that pocket. So it's tiny, but it's kind of in the back, so it's hidden. If you have something like your phone or maybe some cash or whatever that you would rather keep stored in the back and not in the main compartment, you have a little pocket for that. So as for my experience with this pack, first of all, I probably should have started using a fanny pack on my backpacking trips a long time ago. It is so incredibly handy just to have a large pouch right there, right in front of you while you're hiking, so you have plenty of space for extra snacks or sunscreen, camera gear, all that hand sanitizer you're carrying these days. I've used this while hiking with backpacks that do not have a hip belt, so in that case this was the only little bit of storage that I had in front of me. But I've also used this while hiking with a pack that has a full-size padded hip belt, and I have to say it's worked out really well in both situations. I've been really impressed by how comfortable it is to carry this pack, but what really surprised me is that it's actually more comfortable carrying this in combination with a backpack that already has a hip belt versus just carrying it by itself. And that's because if you hang this above the backpack's hip belt, then you can loosen this up and it's not going to slide down, so it's hanging over the backpack hip belt, and it's just more comfortable with it not right up against you like that. Now, you probably will not use it like this while you're backpacking, but the most comfortable way I've found of carrying this is using it as a sling bag. So you can sling it around, clip it there. I would probably take the time to loosen this up a little more, but you can carry it just like that as a sling bag. And that's really nice because if you say you're backpacking and you set up camp and then you want to explore around a little bit, or say if the water source is a little hike away from where you set up camp, you have a nice little separate bag separate from your backpack, and you can carry it around comfortably like this. And finally, let's talk about the waterproofing. Now, Kammok has this listed on their website as the Burro waterproof hip pack, but I don't really agree with that, calling it waterproof. First of all, because these zippers are water resistant zippers, so in my mind, if the zippers on your bag are water resistant, then the bag itself is water resistant, not waterproof, regardless of what material you're using. I would still just call it water resistant. In addition to that, the zippers, I don't know how well you'll be able to see that. There's usually a little bit of a gap between those two zippers. So I knew even before I purchased it that this was not going to be a fully waterproof pack. I wasn't planning to submerge it or anything like that anyway. I just wanted to be able to put some camera gear in it and not worry about it getting wet if it rained. Well, after I purchased this, the very first hike that I used this, it rained for about 45 minutes. Afterwards, I opened this up and I was kind of surprised to see a good bit of water on the inside of the pack. It seemed like even more so than what could get around the zippers. So I sent an email to Kammok and they pretty quickly responded, and I have to give them points for good customer service because they very quickly said, the one you have must be defective, we'll send out a free replacement. So they sent me a second one, but I did some testing with the second one that came in by holding it under the shower. I had the shower turned on low. I held it in the shower for about 60 seconds, and once again, I found a good bit of water on the inside, just more so than what it seemed like would be getting around just the zippers. So finally, I did a second test and I grabbed a gallon-sized Ziploc bag. I covered the entire top of the pack, so I knew the zippers were covered, and I held it under the water under the shower water, so not submersed, put it under the shower for 60 seconds, and once again, there was some water on the inside, and that time it was a little bit easier to tell that the water was leaking in around the seams on the bottom and the two seams around the back. So I emailed Kammok about it, and once again, good customer service. They did offer to give me a refund. They apologized. I told them, you know, you've already sent me a second one for free, so don't worry about it. But all of that said, I would not call this waterproof. It's only somewhat water resistant. Essentially, just if you're planning on putting electronics or anything in this that you do not want to get wet, put it in a Ziploc bag or something like that and then put it inside this pack. Hopefully though, Kammok will make some changes and this will be fully waterproof in the future. So I am disappointed in that waterproofing issue. I'd like to be able to put my camera in here without any additional bags or any protection, but despite that, I have really enjoyed carrying this pack. But I'm curious, leave me a comment below and let me know if you use a fanny pack, if you're considering one, or if you think, hey, it's 2020 and no one should be using fanny packs these days. Whatever you think, let me know in the comments. If you found value in this video, please give it a thumbs up. It really helps out the channel. You can subscribe to see more of my content in the future. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video.